Yo, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Brahma, and in today's episode, we're doing a Q&A that we've generated through Instagram story. And I have the guest, Michael, at solo creator on Instagram, who's behind all of our content. He's actually behind the camera right now, so he'll take over the phone and ask us questions. Yeah. Yo. All right, so just first look on the Q&A questions. There's a lot of repetitive ones, so Michael's just gonna go through them and he's gonna ask me the question, and then I'll hopefully respond best of my abilities.
Explain why the butterfly is significant to UL.
Okay, so
By
I'll-
Corey TJ4Y.
okay, so the butterfly first, like when I first started utilizing the symbol, it was solely based off of, like, I had the screen printer in my basement for a while, and I just wanted ideas so I could just actually just start being proactive. And at the time, like, I think it was fall, and there's a lot of monarch butterflies that fly around downtown, and I our office spot was I think on the fifth floor or something like that, and I just saw them and I was like, oh, that might be cool to screen print that. And I had like a pair of like thrifted like white jeans, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go burn this screen and just print on it. And then I did it, and I remember posting it right on Instagram. I probably archived that post, but I'll screenshot it for this video. I put it out. And the caption was something along the line of just like we all come up with ideas, and sometimes it's just like pursuing it right away and not waiting, and people really like seem to like resonate with that. So I had a lot of like great compliments, and I think that motivated me to like just kind of pursue the idea further. And but the symbol, what it means, I know that one of the basic ones is just kind of like the transformation phases. That's one that a lot of people resonate with. It's like, from the caterpillar to now growing to a full butterfly, and its growth. It's like, how would you say it? It's like
Reuse or transformation.
embracing, transformation, and embracing growth too. Like, and then the other one's like butterflies, like symbolizes like migration, and that's one that's like dear to me because I migrated to America, when I was like 14. So there's that, tie there. And then the next one, I don't know if this is like scientifically true or not, but I read a quote that said like butterflies can't see their wings, they can't see how beautiful they are. And to me, I just like translated that as in like as artists, like we don't see our true values, but other people do, and like sometimes they'll take advantage of you, or like sometimes like people will tell you like, damn, you're talented, like you're this, and like if you can't see that for yourself, like it's kind of hard. And that's like, for me, that was me majority of like I guess my high school and later years, is just trying to like find my value as an artist. And I think it all ties in because it's a growth phases, and like growing into a confident person, a confident artist, and like, like the work that I'm putting out is valuable. I think that's something that we all kind of grow into. Like,
Definitely. I feel like another thing that you were talking about, like the first time you printed the pants before too.
mm-hmm.
I feel like something cool to think about is how many iterations of that came to be to now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like when I first started screen printing or with any type of brand type of thing, I thought like once you had a design, it was like bullet it down, this is how it has to be forever. Now when it's like, it's not that serious. Like,
Yeah.
tell me how many different iterations like you must have made.
Dude, it's like it changes so much, like different colorways, different.
Even the butterfly.
Yeah,
Completely different butterfly a few
yeah,
times,
that
right?
too, yeah. But over time, I think that's the other thing too that separates a lot of like artists too. It's like if you pursue the idea with so many hours and effort, it slowly start to form into something that's like, oh damn, like he knows what he's doing, or like he knows what he's, because you've spent so much time that like it will just show off as that. It's just also like an energy thing. And there's like so many like iteration, like composition, like the placement, all of it. Like it takes time. You have to like try so many different ways to find that like one that like you're finally like happy with or content with, or one that you actually want to like put out as a product.
I feel like as an artist too, just really realizing that there's no finish line and nothing ever is complete. You know what I mean?
It's all ongoing.
Ever changing.
Yep.
You know?
It's all ongoing.
Exactly.
And like to me, like I don't see anything as complete. It's like it's just more so like, all right, I've learned enough. Now I'm on to the next project. Yeah.
I like that. This one is a pretty straightforward question, but where do you get all your blanks, your merchandise, like Champion and Dickies, etc., from Young Breezy?
Bet. So a lot of our blanks I'll get from SS Activewear, also Los Angeles Apparel, and sometimes honestly, like a lot of people ask me where we get our pants from. Like it's straight from Levi's. Like we do spend that much money to get these blanks. Same with Dickies. A unit is like, I don't know, $50 or $60. I don't know. It's like sometimes like the canvas might cost a lot, but you're an artist and you need a canvas, so you gotta just buy the quality. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like we emphasize a lot of quality garments, like, and sometimes you just have to pay that much for it. And like right now we're also in the process of trying to find manufacturers that we could work with, so we could have our own blanks, our own cuts, and also maybe at a more like reasonable and affordable price. So advice for anyone starting out is just looking up wholesale account, like try to get your LLC, and then you could, once you have your EIN number, you could almost open a wholesale account with anybody. So
I think we should link the SS.
Yeah, SS Activewear is a great place to get blanks. They have a warehouse in Chicago, so it comes next day to us. They have warehouses all over. I know one of my homies, Clever Fools, they have a warehouse right by their warehouse, so they literally just stop by and pick their blanks. It's pretty nice.
This is a good question. I feel like we could make a whole video based on this. But how long did it take you to perfect using emulsion and burning a picture into a screen? Any tips from Beyond Earth?
Wow.
Dude, that's like...
Yeah,
I think that is the hardest part of
we should do a whole.
Especially when you don't have a light box.
Yeah,
like
we should do a whole. Honestly, like we should, with some of these videos, we should just experiment. Even like, would be cool to do a video like exposing with the sun and like what that would look like. Or would it even work?
Have you ever tried that? I've never tried that.
I've never tried it, but I know it's doable. You probably just have to leave it outside for a long time. But how long did it was how long, right?
How long did it take you to perfect the burning emulsion, and any tips?
Honestly, I don't think I've perfected it yet. I've found a method that works for me, but I'm still constantly looking to grow in that area and like become really confident that I could burn any design. But it did take me a long time. I'm still learning. But methods to burning screen is just grabbing the emulsion, sticking to the same materials and like really learning them. And if they don't work, try something else. So just constantly experimenting. I think that's the biggest thing takeaway for me with everything that I'm doing, is like just constantly experimenting. Try to find ways that you could either do it faster or do it more efficient, or like anything that will help you along the way. Just try it. So for all of my resources for screen printing, I get some of the screens. It's best when you buy it wholesale. So eBay, a lot of times you could get screens for like reasonably priced. I go to Blix to get the emulsion and then the sensitizer. I'll link all of that stuff below. So the sensitizer, like mixing those and then coating them, leaving it in the dark room to dry. The other thing is like, make sure when you're coating it, just don't coat it too thick. Make sure it's like even and like a thin layer. That works for me. So like all of that is fine tuning, making sure like, oh, like the pressure has to be this way, that way. And you only learn that through experimenting. And this is advice that I'm also giving to myself, is like not to be afraid to try new things and not to be afraid to mess up. Like it's huge. And even just like, I think growing as an artist too, one thing that I realized is a lot of professional artists, the only reason they're professional is because they don't care if they mess up or like if they fail, because they know that's a part of the whole journey. Is just life in general. Like fail, get back up, try it again, and like, yeah, that's literally all.
Yeah. I also feel like another good tip would be just having, if you're able to, if you can afford it, to have multiple screens.
Yeah, multiple screens for sure. Yeah, just
Try
so
things right in the same
yeah,
room.
you could try different things and taking notes too. Something that I want to do with film photography is also like shooting a roll, and like this is one thing that I took away from college is making, like, I forgot the process, but you just take notes and like making sure, like, shot one, I shot it at this was the time, blah blah blah, just so you could like refer back to it later on and see like what worked and what didn't, and whatever worked you carry it onto the next project, and whatever didn't work, just let it go.
I'm a designer in Nigeria. I want to learn how to screen print multiple colors, from Kelvin and Google.
Okay, so with screen printing, my advice is to start out with one color and then go to 2 color, 3 color, and just like that, like, you know, one step at a time. A lot of times, I would even start with something very simple, just a simple graphic, just so you get in the rhythm of like, oh, okay, like this, I need to like place the designs here and I need to line them up like this. So starting out with baby steps is the best way to go. And we will create a couple more videos on screen printing, and on more specifically too on like how to do 2 color, 3 color. We do have a video where we walk through just our whole process of screen printing, and in that video I think we screen printed a full color design, but we will go more in depth into just specifically how to do that, so stay tuned for that.
Okay. What inspires the way you launch your pop-ups, style of packaging, and lookbook?
Okay, so we've done like a bunch of pop-ups over the past, and I think a lot of time like the inspiration come from, I guess, my early on, like going to galleries and seeing how like things are put together, and also like wanting to provide a good show for everybody, like a good experience. And a lot of times as DIY, that's something that made me fall in love with everything that we're doing. It's like being hands-on, screen printing, and we try to incorporate that element in all of our pop-ups, bringing out a small screen printing setup and sharing that love with everybody. At the end of the day, like that's all it comes down to. It's like us sharing what we love with everybody and trying to have everybody be a part of it, from like really young kids, like first like screen printing for the first time, or like even older people who like, oh, I've always wondered how t-shirts are made, and like now they have the opportunity to be a part of that. And some of the elements that we've incorporated like through it's just kind of like the vibe that we have in the office. We try to take that into a new space, and that's kind of like our approach to curating most of our pop-ups. Is also like when we travel too, like I'm always just eyeing how like boutiques lay out their places, what's a customer's experience when they walk through the space. We have all of that in mind when we curate our pop-ups.
How long does it take for a clothing brand to start becoming successful? I like this one because I feel like
Oh, how long? Damn. I think honestly the time doesn't matter, because like and also don't get discouraged if your brand takes longer to gain success. At the end of the day, like find a good reason why you're doing it, and a fulfilling one. There's brands who blow up, and there's this phase where I was comparing myself to a lot of people. I was like, damn, this brand only been around for like a year or two and they're like already blowing up. All the celebrities are wearing this stuff, like blah blah blah. Like don't let that like get in the way of the bigger vision, and which is to constantly like just keep growing and keep excelling Um, time, it all varies. It's also how bad you want it too. Like, do you want to be a quick brand that like blows up fast and then dies fast? And a lot of times it comes down to that. Like a lot of brands, even artists that blow up really fast, like within the first year of being in business, they don't last long. Find a reason why you're doing it. For us, we're like chasing legacy and chasing long term. We're thinking long term, so that's where we're not trying to, I don't think I would change the way things are happening for us. Like we didn't blow up too fast. Like we're still like constantly just like working to get better and to get, I guess, recognized as well. But
I feel like another tip that I'd have too is like you always say, starting with the 10. Just
yeah,
focusing
yeah,
on like
definitely.
whether it be your friends or not, just focusing on like a small group of people to like give them your stuff and like see if they actually like it and make stuff they like.
Yeah. So always starting small and just go from there. If you have a solid foundation, like when you blow up, like you'll be solid. But if you just start off with, you know, an idea and then it blows up and you don't even know how to like contain things or like how to approach certain things, like it gets really hard. So I would say just focus on that.
People also care less too, because like when you're
you're
growing slow, people that fuck with you right away will
there's like
grow with you. Where if you blow up fast, it's like, oh, they're big, and it's like, oh, I have no emotional attachment to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not interested anymore. Where it's like, oh, I liked them since they were like a young brand. Now they're this. Definitely. It's more emotional attachment.
Yeah.
How do you go about making content? Is it planned out? And what advice can you give it to start?
This guy. It's a lot of, that's something that content, like photos, videos, it's like we love that. And I'll give a lot of credit to Michael for shooting most of the TikTok, Instagram reel, even the YouTube videos. It's all, he's the guy behind the camera. But yeah, a lot of planning go in some of them. I feel like you've kind of gotten to a place where like you have a method of how like a good flow of like execution, and I think that's flow is so important. Like just being in a flow state of just either creating or whatever it is that you're doing, so important. And I feel like we've gotten there. We're not like completely content. Like we know there's room for growth, there's room for to just constantly expand and try new things. So we're constantly experimenting. Like even the next phase I think would be cool to like start doing like short films and stuff like that. And those are like things that we have, you know, planned for the future.
I feel like it helps to, like, if you're an artist, it helps to have one thing that you do all the time. Something that's like easy to do and like you get into a flow of and you're still pushing yourself, but then also having those other things that like you can push yourself even more doing, like whether it be a YouTube video and then like TikToks you don't really care about, you post every day, then you have YouTube videos or reels that you can like
more
really
plan out
and get better at.
Yep.
How do you stay creative, especially being full-time? That'd be a question I'd have too.
Yeah, how do I stay creative? I think I periodically I'll allow myself to indulge in things that kind of made me want to pursue all of this, which is I think watching good films, like watching movies, even like honestly like browsing through Instagram. There's nothing wrong with that. Like just don't compare yourself or anything like that. Like I run another page called Shoot Aesthetic, and this page, like everyone I'm following is photographers and just good pages with good aesthetic, and like I constantly like scrolling through that page, like I'm inspired, and it makes me want to get out and shoot more. I think consuming things that inspire us allows us to be more creative and stay creative, and then trying new things, or like sometime I'll like try to bring my younger siblings to work and just have them screen printing. Like that like re-sparks that like love and passion that I have for screen printing. Like, oh, like I'm not doing this for money, I'm just doing this for the pure joy and the pure ability to create something that's like from here to like something that's tangible. Like there's nothing more joyful than that.
This question's good too. If you could pursue another passion, what would it be?
Oh, I think I saw that question yesterday, and I was like thinking about it.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
same dude
whoa,
commented like 5 times.
yeah. What if I could pursue another passion? Is that something? It's like there's so many questions that come out. It's like
It's
something.
a big pursue too. Is a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
word,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. Pursuing another passion. Wow. Oh, like, I probably. I mean, this is something that I'll actually pursue. Like, just not maybe couple like 5, 10 years from now. I think engineering and like architecture, design. I love. I feel like there's a bigger opportunity there to be more impactful. Not that like running a clothing brand isn't impactful, but I think I just think about like my bigger purpose in life, from growing up in like a third world country, and like thinking about the future, like wanting to go back, bring back resources, and build schools or hospitals or wherever that might be. Like that, I feel like there's way more impact there too. So that's something I would want to pursue someday. But if I were to like graduate high school, wasn't doing this, I would probably try to pursue that.
How can you burn screens for oversized prints?
Oversized.
You have an interesting method for that I didn't know about before.
Oh, with the taping?
It's like you get a bigger screen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You tape.
Yeah, so for bigger size, oversized prints, so you could a lot of times try to find a local screen printing place, either if they sell screen printing supply, or just look up screen printing in your area and try to like search. And I remember the first time doing this, I found like there's this place called Midwest Screen Printing here in Wisconsin, and they do custom screens too. Like, so you can just call like, hey, I'm looking to get again, like try to open an account with them. A lot of times, like a lot of website you'll need to open an account with them, and they can make you the custom screen. And I've seen so many, like, it's people that inspire me are people that just do it sometimes. Like there's kids on Instagram that just like will literally like make the frame, buy the mesh, and like stretch it themselves, staple it, and just burn the screen. There's not much to it. Like, you can do a lot of research, and at the end of the day, if you don't do it, then it's like a waste of time. It's like just doing it. Like, you want bigger screens, like you could either make it or try to buy it, and then you could go from there.
How many money do you recommend to start an entrepreneurship of clothes?
Okay. Recommendation. I don't think. I mean, it is. I would say it is nice to have money to just buy everything that you need, but at the end of the day, like, okay, there's money, there's passion. Passion, you could literally like make anything happen. If you're passionate about it, like, you'll make it happen. Dude, I remember the first time like I saw somebody skateboarding down the street. I was like, I want that. And we just moved to the state. We had no money. I was like, I'm gonna build a skateboard. And I would literally I literally started carving a wood, bro, like into the shape.
I did not know that.
Dude, yes, I did. And the wheels. Guess what I was gonna use for the wheels, bro?
What?
Guess what, bro? You know the chair, the wheel from the chair? Dude,
Yes.
I was gonna try to find a way to staple
Like an office chair?
Yes.
That's
I was gonna try to.
horrible.
And then I saw some kid like skateboarding with a Family Dollar like Spider-Man board, and I was like, I had like $5. I don't know where I got the $5 from. I was like, I'll buy this, and he ran upstairs, told his mom like, can I sell my board for $5? His mom was like, didn't care, so he came back down, sold it to me, and I was like, that's how I started skateboarding.
That's awesome right there. How did you manage costs at the beginning versus now?
Oh.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's something. I feel like that's something I'm still figuring out as it's part of the growth, budgeting and figuring out, like, my biggest worries are always to just like pay for the space and pay for everyone who's doing work here. And a lot of times, like as a small brand, there's a lot of like sacrifices that have to happen. Like there's months where I'm just like, oh, I can't. I'll just put my money back into the business so it could grow. Like for me, I use the future as a big motivator for all the sacrifices that I'm doing now, because I know eventually like we don't have to worry about money or anything like that, and I'm very fortunate to have a team that's like willing to just do the work off of just pure passion and like believing in the vision as much as I do too. So costs I'm still managing. I also just got an accountant too, which is a very important step. And advice I'll have for like early business owners is to try to have an accountant and an attorney in place within the first couple of years, because they come in very handy. I'm kind of scared to sit down with my accountant to go through like my year spending. So we'll see how that goes. I'll recap you guys on maybe a future video.
Is it legal to print, for example, on Gildan or Fruit of the Loom shirts and sell them?
Yeah, so a lot of these companies will sell blanks that you could use and decorate. And actually, like when I opened up my wholesale account, that's what they call it. Like you're a decorator. You decorate on top of these clothes. So it's totally legal. Even just screen printing on Dickies jackets or like Levi's jackets, all of that is legal. So once you buy it, you're selling it as a canvas. You're not selling the garment itself. You're just like selling the art on it. So it's totally legal.
I didn't know.
What?
Some of that stuff. I feel like there's some things where it's
The
not.
the thing that might not be legal though is like using their name as on the. It's like, so if you buy a Dickies jacket, like it's like you're not reselling the Dickies jacket with it like as it's placed on the website. You're selling, say Unfinished Legacy a screen printed jacket. You know, you could sell it as that. But like when you use their name in the caption or the name on the website, then you're like infringing because it's not your name, you know, or like screen printing their logo or like anything like that, then it's not legal. But if you're just solely just using it as a blank, like you're totally fine. And honestly, like the legal stuff, like I try not to worry about it, honestly, because yeah, especially in the beginning, like try to just do whatever you want it like is in your head, like. Don't worry about like legality.
Don't let anyone stop you.
Yeah, don't let anyone like, oh, that's not legal. Like, just keep doing your thing. Like you're gonna like establish yourself. Like there's like a lot of things that you learn along the way, and then if it gets to the point where like you're getting big, then like okay, get an attorney, and then they'll let you know what you can do and what you can't do. Like right now, I feel like our brand is fairly small, and I try to just do whatever. Like
still get away with
even
stuff.
doing this, like it's not legal, but like I just felt like it's an idea that I needed to put out there. So and if I got hit by what is it called, cease and desist, like then I'll stop. But yeah, just don't worry. A lot of people like stress too much about that. Yeah, in the beginning.
That's like very stressful. People will even like. With me, I don't know if it was the same for you, but people like said like, "Hey, you shouldn't do that. You can't sell it."
Don't listen to anybody. Like yeah.
Very annoying. Yeah. Okay. How did you let people around where you live notice you and your work?
Again, so it's starting with the 10 or like either like your closest friend group, and just if they mess. So with me, like when I started in high school, like I just would sell it in class, and in a short period of time, everyone in school like, oh, Brema, you're the kid that has a sticker all over the place. I had a teacher from my high school recently buy stuff from me, and he was like, oh, I saw your sticker somewhere, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. but like it just started from there and then started spreading into the next school and then from there. But my advice to you when you're selling, try to like go outside of your friend group, because that's where like sometimes that's like the hardest, but it's also the most like fulfilling, because you're getting new eye into like your product.
Yeah, I feel like those people tend to like care a little bit more too.
Yeah,
Which
true.
is interesting to think about. You think your friends do.
Yeah,
but,
because it's not, because a lot of time too, like friends might buy stuff because they genuinely like it, and or sometimes they'll buy it just because like, oh, you're my friend, I'm gonna buy this. Where a lot of times as artists, like we want people to buy our stuff because they see the art and they see the passion in it, versus like, oh, I'm gonna buy it just because like I might not like it, but I'm gonna buy it because you're my friend. Like, no, that's not the point. I don't want you to buy my stuff and like leave it in the closet. Like, I want you to like wear it and feel good about the purchase.
That's a special feeling too. When
Yeah,
you first
yeah.
sell your product to somebody that like you have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
Because that means you succeeded in like showing yourself and who you are, like to the point where they put their money down on it. Like,
Yeah,
that's
and putting
special
yourself
feeling.
out there too. Like just putting yourself out there more.
I like this one. Are there any daily struggles?
Daily struggles. Yeah, I think a lot of times like the internal struggles, just believing in yourself and having the confidence that like the work that we're doing is important, and we need to put time and a lot of energy, and sometimes even like being broke for a little bit, like just I think those are some of the struggles, and just making sure things are on time, and like and sometimes too, it's like the things that we don't have control of. Like if we got like a delayed shipping or something, like I stress a lot about that, because
This morning, literally emailed you.
even that too. Like there's a lot of like small struggles, but at the end of the day, like I think the one thing that just having the bigger vision for the future helps ground me and helps I think relieves a lot of that stress.
How do you think of your designs?
Dude, this is something I thought about actually the other day. A lot of my design will take like 2-3, like
You do take some time.
a month, 2-3 months, like to just, where I'm just like, it's like my brain is this lab that's like trying to like grow this plant, and I have to like constantly like, give care to this design, like keep thinking about it, like keep envisioning it until it gets ready to get put out. And that's a lot of them. Like I feel like everything that we've put out, I've definitely like spent so much time trying to like make sense of the concept, trying to make sure it fits with the brand's message, overall message, and the ethos for it. So yeah, that's how I could just brainstorming, and also like looking through books, looking through old vintage clothes, like just seeing why is this design timeless? Like, why am I still loving this design that came out 50 years ago? Like what's so special about it, and wanting to create something that's timeless like that. I think there's a lot of like inspiration from that, or even like looking at like signs, looking at like we like look at like trucks. Like trucks is like, dude, it's crazy, because like every time I drive and see a truck, I'm like, dude, why are they so cool? Like it's so like well done, like the colors are always like on point.
I feel like it's also like the canvas.
That
makes it really cool too.
Yeah.
Like if you just saw it on a computer, like it'd be like nah. But now that it's like on a huge truck, really big, that's rusty and like weathered, like it's 10 times cooler.
Yeah. Or even like seeing like graffiti on trains, it's like, damn, imagine, I was like thinking about this yesterday, imagine like the butterfly tees, maybe like sections of it, like what if it felt like a train, like a moving train? It's like, wow, like that's dope. just the placement, the colors, composition, all of it.
There's a lot of questions about like, oh, would you collaborate or stuff about collaborating, but one of them is just straight up, would you collaborate with other brands?
Yeah. So, like, right now, like we're in a position where we're trying to really like hone in with our brand message and like our aesthetic to the point where like when we collaborate with somebody else, like we're bringing some value and like we could stand alone too, you know. And the other thing too is like I think collaboration. This is something I've thought about a lot. Is it's the way you approach it. You know, a lot of times people approach collaboration as in like, oh, let me just like have you give me your service and try to call it a collab. But like, no, that's not collab. Like a collaboration is like you're bringing an idea to the table, I'm bringing an idea, and like we're meshing it and coming up with something that's unique, something new we want to add to this world, and
Not just the whole X.
yeah. Not like unfinished legacy X, whatever. Like if we do a collab, like if I'm totally open to doing collaboration. Just approach it, propose it. Like I'm always reaching out to artists too. Like, yo, like it'd be cool to do a collab in the near future. And my approach is to bring this new idea and hopefully that they're excited about the idea as I am. Because like a lot of times it's not even like, oh, we're both two big brands. Just like, are we both excited about this idea? You know, it's like,
I feel like there's something about that too. Is like what you said, bringing to the table. Like, is it just like, is one person only benefiting from this?
Yeah,
or
exactly,
both?
exactly,
Or like,
yeah.
Is it that great of an idea where it doesn't even matter? You know?
Yeah. And yeah, there's different ways to approach it. There's, you know, you could tell like certain collabs are just solely for money. Like, damn, you guys did that collab just so you could get money.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's more exciting when it's like bringing something new to the world, or just even just excitement. Just like, yo, we're both like, we both mutually have like respect for each other. Let's do something cool, and that's dope.
I feel like another thing that's really important, and what you kind of touched on right in the beginning, is like going for people that would want to collaborate with us too. Is like, I don't know, before we would want to collaborate with anyone, like you said, we want our own aesthetic and our own brand to stand for itself.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it's very true.
Like you can't really collaborate with anyone if you don't even have your own identity.
Yeah,
you know, so like,
that is important. Yeah, the identity piece, and a lot of times that's like, it's like, oh snap, like Supreme and Nike just collaborate. They both stand on their own feet. You know, they both have their own identities, and then you kind of get an idea of like what they can make. You know, it's like you got this streetwear brand, you got this shoe brand. Like, it's like, yeah, having an identity for sure. Like, you know, it's important.
That's what we would bring to the table.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
You know?
Bringing my identity.
Whole ethos. Two ethoses coming together, two worlds like emerging for a piece, you know.
Yep.
I think we're good. How are you?
It's an important question. How am I? I'm doing great. I feel like I had a moment earlier where I felt like, damn, like everything I've ever like wished for or like wanted to happen is happening. So like that's why I was like so hyped about like hitting 100K on YouTube, because that's something I've always thought about like for the past like 5 years or so. Like it would be cool to have a following on YouTube and people to connect with on there. I feel like we're on the way. Like it's gonna happen.
It's just that consistency.
Yep.
Personability.
Consistency, good energy, like just being genuine with our content. Like we're already doing that. I feel like we're doing everything that is needed. We just gotta keep at it.
Keep for a while, yeah.
And not being discouraged, I guess. It's another one.
I feel like that'd be a question that I'd have for you too, is like, how often do you get discouraged, and how do you like, what do you do to get through that in the fastest way possible?
Fastest way. Okay.
'Cause I feel like I already know kind of what discourages you, but like, how do you
Get over it.
get over it? And like, how often does that happen, you think?
I kind of told you this already. Like, anytime I'm in a bad mood or whatever, just remind me of like fucking.
Dude, it's tough.
Wow.
You be in a bad mood, you are in a bad mood, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
It's rare though, but
every
like
time,
I don't know,
like-
like I feel like I don't know, like being happy all the time, like dude, great, but like if you're not pissed off about something, man, like I don't know if you care too much about it. Like
That's true.
I care so much
I
about
feel like
like
that comes in
making this
nervousness,
shit.
too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not always like, yeah, it's just it's like a bunch of feelings, like being nervous about the future, like just if there's a big decision that I need to make, like, I'm like, oh, like kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this, like, but I also like I acknowledge right away that's like it's part of growth. Like the moment I feel like I don't want to do something, it's like, oh snap, okay, I'm growing in this area.
That's another whole topic
Yeah.
we should talk about too. Is just like the not being comfortable and how
Yeah.
that's growth.
Yeah, and it's, you know,
Especially as
it's,
an entrepreneur.
yeah, it is scary, and it's like, but I think realizing that, you know, my background, where I came from, the reason I'm doing things, and like even just like sometimes like honestly just taking a moment, like breathing and like just seeing where we are with you know everything. It's like okay, well, like we are doing some things right, like just be more hopeful, like optimistic, because that's kind of what got us here too, is just being optimistic and like and having a belief that shit's gonna work out at the end, you know. And I think that's really important. That's really important.
For sure.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. It felt like it's the first time doing this Q&A. Like really cool just talking through this. I think I might want to like I think we should do like podcast type of like series. Yeah. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Let us know if they even like
But yeah, let us know in the comments below if you like this format of just kind of talking, less B-roll and stuff, just more pure, just talking in front of the camera. And if you have any questions too, like leave it below. I know a lot of people are reaching out on Instagram, so that's another great way to get in contact with me or us. Again, thank you guys so much. Feel free to like this video, subscribe to this channel, because we're on our way to 100K before the end of this year. And I believe that we could do it. So, yeah, peace out. What if the camera wasn't recording this whole time?